Well, good morning, everybody. How are you? I see DT Driver made it in. Angie Gibson, good morning. Pam Davidson, hello. Stephanie, probably. What a cool name. Hey, Gina. Dawn Grandma 3, I am so happy you're here, Dawn. I'm leaving the trigger warning up for a minute because we need it for this case. There's my girl, Shonda. I'll call you back later, Shonda. I wasn't ignoring you, I promise. Mary Beth, good morning. Busy mom. All moms are busy. Hey, Tam here. What is going on? Now, Dawn, Grandma 3, as you know, is in hospice right now. She has cancer, and it's not good, okay? I'm not going to get into... Good morning, Nursekins. How are you, honey? Not going to get into her personal business, but I want to take a minute before we tell everyone hello. And everyone, if you pray, but send her some get well wishes because she needs them. I've been thinking a lot about you, Dawn. We've had a lot going on, have we not? And when you think about, Susan lost her husband, Dawn's health. I got some bad news about a friend of mine yesterday. That's what we need to be concentrating on. But I'm going to tell you right now, you might as well go ahead and get your tissues ready because this case is horrific. I mean, it's horrible. It gives me Gabriel Fernandez vibes. Remember little AJ in Illinois? Olivia Jansen outside of Kansas City. Do you remember that one, JTB? So many. This is bad, y'all. This is bad. Sweet Toughness just summed it up. She said, my goodness, yes, that's real life. My goodness, look at this, Whist. Friday morning, my friend's son passed away of cancer. I have every feeling you guys have. We love you, Whist. We love you. Thank you, Chaos. This case has me fuming. Besides the fact of what they did to him repeatedly for years, they laughed about it. The mom encouraged it. Well, before I get to all of that, welcome to Taco Tuesday. Let's tell everyone hello, Baptist style. Welcome your neighbor. Give a hug, shake a hand. You know how it goes around here. And good morning to Wanda Green. She just snuck in the back door. Elaine Cordello said they are both demented. Are they demented or are they just straight up freaking demons? That's what I want to know. What the hell is going on with these two? And these women, these damn women that pick the pogo stick over their children make me puke. Several of you reached out to me, I believe it was Sunday. I had several emails. It was put in Discord. You've been hearing a lot about Discord lately. Messages on Facebook. And I was like, oh my goodness. Now, it's going to be 100% up to you all if you want to continue to follow this case. Seems to me it's going to be a slam dunk. But a few of you left some comments on the members tab, not the members tab, the community tab on YouTube. Let me look at your comments, and then we're going to get to the show. And again, it's going to piss you off, probably going to make you cry, but hey, we're all here together. Okay, before I get to the comments, let me give you a rundown of what happened to little Giovanni. They called him Chulo, Jennings. That couple at the top, Daniel, Giacchina, and Elaina Jennings, Chulo is her son. Look at this beautiful little boy. Look at him. Look at that beautiful hair, beautiful smile, beautiful eyes. Look at him. He is a gorgeous little boy. Well, old Dan and Elaina are two of the most disgusting human beings that the devil ever shit onto this earth. Okay? Chulo, Giovanni, he died July 30th after his mother called 911 and said he was unresponsive in the mobile home where she, Daniel, Chulo, and the other children lived. His death was ruled a murder, go figure, from blunt force trauma and a perforated abdomen. Now, I want you to try to wrap your minds around what type of force it would take to perforate an abdomen. According to McDonald, who is the DA, he died after a lengthy period of confinement and, well, abuse. I'm going to play the music again, and I'm going to go to your comments. Midwest detective said, I hope these two get what they have coming to them behind bars. They are pure evil. Exactly. Put them in a cave, perforate their abdomen, staple their clothes to the corner, deny them bathroom privileges, deny them water, deny them food, shoot them with BB guns. I have no problem with that. Had a lot of people say, WTF is wrong with these people. Hippie grandma said there's too many sick people in this world. Trinity. Wish Trinity was in here right now. Trinity would love being in here. She said, I'm going to lose my shit if she, meaning the mother, gets a deal for testifying against this monster. You don't need her testimony. Just look at his body. That's what I'm saying. You've got to be kidding me. I really hope that the powers that be in Michigan, I'm not sure what county they're in, don't exactly know how the judges there, the DA works. This DA is fired up. This woman's beyond pissed. I really hope they don't make any sort of deal with this woman. Pink Kelly said, WTF is wrong with these people. They should do everything to them that was done to this poor child. These two are monsters and make my blood boil. Yes, they do. Look at Melanie. She goes, she'll be cut a deal. And how? How could you cut her a deal? She would be at work texting back and forth with Dan, who's now her, I guess, prison lover. Of course, he got in trouble for the usual things, right? You know, criminals don't follow the law. They just don't. Because he had a gun. Not supposed to have a pew-pew, are you, when you're a bad hombre? And I'm not saying that to be racist. He had ammunition, not supposed to have it. So she already knew that was going on, but she would encourage this abuse. Reminds me so much of Pearl Hernandez. Really does. Jane's Addiction says Charter Township. You'll have to educate me. I don't know what that means. Let's look at this house of horrors and what they put this boy through. The only heroes in this story are his siblings. I'm not going to say their ages. I'm not going to say whether it's a boy, whether it's a girl, but they witnessed horrific abuse. So it wasn't just the text messages and the condition of Chulo's little body. The other kids witnessed it. Britta, thank you for being here. She said, thank you all for making me feel welcome. I love Brooks. We love you. All right. Collect yourselves, and we're going to start going through it because it's horrible. Now, this gives me hope right here. I love when locals come in. Lisa, me love you long time. She said, Oakland County, there won't be a deal, in my opinion. Karen McDonald doesn't F around with hurting kids. It doesn't seem that way. I read an article from the New York Post this morning. She's pissed. I read an article on Law and Crime. She's pissed. I've been watching the local news, what I can get a hold of. She's not having it. And good. Because he could be anyone's son.
Case of child abuse behind the death of an Oakland County. And now to an horrific case of child abuse behind the death of an Oakland County 6-year-old.
Right off the bat, a horrific case of child abuse. Now, don't get me wrong, any child that's abused, it is horrific. This one is a little few more notches up the ladder. Imagine the PTSD that the children that were in the home will have to deal with the rest of their lives. Imagine what Karen McDonald, the DA, will have to deal with the rest of her life. The investigators, the first responders that came to the house. Imagine when they came across that cage that they were keeping him in. Good.
Tonight, the prosecutor is revealing the trauma Giovanni Jennings endured and the lies she says a couple of adults used to try covering it up.
The boy's mother, Elaina Jennings, and her boyfriend are each charged with murder and child abuse for what the prosecutor says happened inside a home in Madison Heights. Will Jones is.
Look at her dead eyes. Look at them. Every mugshot we see of these women, have you noticed? They always have the dead eyes. Every time. They make me sick. And look at him. He seems to be quite satisfied with what he did. Look at his face. She really picked this POS over this beautiful little boy. Giovanni doesn't have dead eyes, but she does. Look at him. Stapled to the wall, shot with a BB gun before death. They make me sick to look at. I'm with you, Elaine.
Live with what was revealed today. Will.
Kimberly and Demond, what Giovanni Jennings allegedly endured is simply heartbreaking. I can't tell you how difficult it was to hear them detail some of these incidents that happened to this boy. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald called it one of the worst child abuse cases that she's ever seen. So here's what we know. Investigators say 6-year-old Giovanni Chulo Jennings died from blunt force trauma to his abdomen and a perforated bowel after a lengthy period of confinement and abuse at a home in Madison Heights. They say Giovanni was bound to the wall by using a staple gun to his clothes, forcing his face into a corner. Investigators also allege the abuse included being shot.
Look at that place. Look how nasty that is. I'm not picking on how anybody lives, but if the outside looks like it's falling apart, imagine the inside. Number 83, they're in the trailer park, stapled to the wall.
Use at a home in Madison Heights. They say Giovanni was bound to the wall by using a staple gun to his clothes, forcing his face into a corner. Investigators also allege the abuse included being shot with a BB gun. They say the boy's 2 younger siblings witnessed the abuse. His mom, Elaina Jennings, and her boyfriend, Daniel Giacchina, are now charged with murder and first-degree child abuse. That's in addition to charges of lying to peace officer, which was filed last week. Investigators say the couple tried to blame the abuse on the boy's biological father after mom called 911 July 30th saying her son was unconscious. Investigators say Giacchina was responsible for the abuse, but mom was aware of it and even at times
trying to blame the biological dad. Debbie, my friend, she said the grandmother lives there. Did she get charged as well? I'm getting conflicting statements about this. I'm glad you brought it up, Debbie. I've heard that she lives there sometimes, but not full time. Okay, let me put it this way. Let's just say she popped into the trailer once a week. Should she not be charged too? This is Michigan's Dawn, Candace, and Grandis. And this Karen McDonald is not screwing around. I'm not going to be surprised if grandma doesn't catch some charges. Not going to be shocked. I hope it happens. And I'm so upset with what the other 2 children witnessed.
biological father after mom called 911 July 30th saying her son was unconscious. Investigators say Giacchina was responsible for the abuse, but mom was aware of it and even at times encouraged it. The couple allegedly shared laughs over the boy living a nightmare.
Both Jennings and Giacchina laughed about the photo and Giacchina's use of the staple gun to solve, quote, the problem. According to the text, Chulo was being punished in this manner for looking out the window in the pen area.
Looking out the window in a pinned area. You're telling me grandma didn't notice his clothing stapled to the wall so he couldn't move? Now, let's talk about the neighborhood. These homes are, they're like pushed in there like sardines. Did no neighbor notice what was going on? He had a perforated abdomen. That would have been a blood-curdling scream. No one heard that? I have a hard time believing that. Call me crazy.
The couple was arraigned this morning and they were denied bond. Coming up at 6, we're going to talk to the boy's stepfather. He is devastated after hearing what happened today and some of those details. He had no idea that this was going on. So we're going to go into a little more detail about their relationship and his reaction to those charges. But for right now, we're live in Detroit. Will Jones, Local 4.
Really just a horrific case. All right. Will, we appreciate it.
It's beyond horrific. Imagine how scared he was daily. Imagine how much he had to plead with them. Don't staple me to the wall. Don't put me under the bed. Don't put me in the cage. Now, I love when I come across channels like this. Let me take it off of. This is the Norman Nick.
You want to know why it's so easy to find?
He was beaten.
Hang
He
on.
was bound to the wall.
I'm going to put this link in because he did a full background on this child killer.
He was beaten. He was bound to the wall by using a staple gun to his clothes to the wall, which forced his face into a corner. He was badly injured, but he was not taken for medical treatment because his mother knew that a medical examination would reveal the abuse. And that information is all an allegation that was already in the public forum on the record and the swear to. Based on that additional evidence today, my office amended the charges against the defendants to include murder and child abuse in the first degree. On July 30th, 2024, at 2:34 p.m., Elaina Jennings called 911.
There's the link because I think this guy does great work. Let's give him some views. Let's give him some subs. You know, help other people out. Don't get me wrong, it's bit me in the ass in the past, but I think it'll be okay this time.
My office amended the charges against the defendants to include murder and child abuse in the first degree. On July 30th, 2024, at 2:34 p.m., Elaina Jennings called 911 to her home and indicated that her 6-year-old son was passed out and unconscious. Chulo was rushed by ambulance to Ascension Macomb Oakland Hospital, transferred to the Detroit Medical Center, and ultimately succumbed to his injuries around midnight on July 31st. The allegations are that Jennings falsely told police that she left Chulo with his biological father.
Imagine how pissed the daddy is. Now, I want to know how often the father saw his son. I'm going to guess not very often. Maybe he's a piece of shit too. I don't know. He's not charged with anything, but we never know. You know what happens in these cases? We make someone out to be a hero, and then we get a big old fat zero thrown in our lap. And it's very sad that Michigan does not have the death penalty. Very sad. They mentioned a stepfather. Look, how many men does she have around her? That's what I want to know. This woman's had more rides than an Avis rent-a-car. If everything that had been stuck in her was sticking out, she'd look like a porcupine. This chick gets around, and I would say she's not that fortunate looking. But hell, look what she scraped up.
When she went to work that morning, and that Chulo was uninjured prior to being with his father. Police located and arrested Chulo's father, and based on information provided by his father, subsequent investigation quickly revealed that the child's father was not anywhere near Chulo's location that day, and that defendant Jennings had provided false information to police. Based on the investigation to date, there is no evidence that Chulo's father took part in these crimes.
Reminds me of Lazy Simon. Speaking of a porcupine, when she allegedly, gotta throw in the allegedly, murdered little baby Quentin, she said he was missing, but he was with Bubba. Well, they figured out real quick he wasn't with Bubba. Bubba had been alienated. So, Chicky Poo here almost took a page out of Lazy's book. Do these bitches go to class? Do they learn from each other? Again, let me play this. Look at the eyes. I'm going to add old girl to this. Look at the eyes in this video. I want to talk about this comment. I'll put the link down if anybody wants to come up and chat. Karma Lieber can come up. We chatted yesterday. She's awesome. My fellow Okie. Reality wins. My daughter asked, why is it one child is singled out in cases like this? She's bothered by this. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I'm going to get to Debbie's comment in a second. Gabriel Fernandez, Harmony Montgomery, Oakley Carlson. That's a case we haven't talked about in a very long time. We need to go back through it. Gannon Stout. Nobody else had a hair on their head harmed. I'm going to keep bringing up Gabriel because it's giving me Gabriel vibes between the cage and all the other stuff. I would like to know too. You single out one and the other children are unharmed. And Debbie, yes, you guys are killing me with these comments today. Shit, y'all are extra smart today. I love you. Debbie said, didn't Megan Boswell say the same thing that baby Evelyn was with the father? Yes. Thank you for the reminder. Again, do these bitches go to murder you? Is that what they do? It's like they take a page out of each other's books. Drives me insane.
Welcome to the Norm and Nick Show. I am Norm. Now, in today's video, I did a thorough background check on the boyfriend child killer of Daniel, Giacchini or whatever his name is, Daniel John Giacchini or whatever they call him, the one with the dreads with the little tipped ends. Anyways, not only did I find out who he is, not only did I find out who the baby mama is, not only did I find
Okay, he is. Whew. I don't know what that thing is on his face. God.
who he is, not only did I
Look, that's a huge ass bruise on her arm. I don't think that's for bumping into the door. We have a lot of problems going on here. She better not pull any of that battered woman's shit that I can't stand. We don't have time for no more Sarah Boones around here.
find out who the baby mama is, not only did I find out who the baby daddy that she blamed is, but you're not going to believe what his grandmother said, and acting like she didn't know why this abuse was happening, even though she knew he was already in and out of rehab. 2016 is when he did the theft of a vehicle, and then he was released in 2018, and grandma was the one that picked him up and with his daughter from a different baby mama.
Go figure. Go figure. There's always an enabler. So he steals a car. Grandma gets him out of the lurch and brings his daughter from another baby mama to, I guess, show her what a great example her father is. Anyone seen a problem here? If Susan was in here right now, she'd be losing her shit. She'd be going, I get so sick of these enablers.
Look at this. Look. Look.
Don't put me on camera.
Oh, come on, Judy, come on, look. That's a big surprise.
Hold on. So this is how you go and you pick him up? Listen, bitch, he didn't just get home from the war. You just got him out of jail for stealing a car. Hey, baby, look who I brought with me. No. No.
Look at this. Look.
Baby.
Look.
Don't put me on camera.
Oh, come on, Judy, come on, look. That's a big surprise. Look. Total surprise. Total surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, Grandma, thank you for getting him out of jail and him not learning a lesson. Thank you for doing that, because now look what happened. He only got worse. Now, Grandma, since you went and got him out of jail, You congratulated him on stealing a car. Now we've escalated to the murder of little Chulo Jennings. You bet. Kept him in a cage, denied him bathrooms, wouldn't let him look outside, had his clothes staple gunned to a corner so he couldn't move. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you. I would give you Idiot of the Week, but you're worse than an idiot. You are what I would call culpable. Culpable, Grandma. And you're proud of him. Look at her. Hugging him. Oh, I'm so glad you're out of jail. If it was up to me, I'd throw them all in jail. And pull your pants up, you freak.
You're welcome. Aunt Patty's been calling every few minutes. There you go.
Aunt Patty, too? You're welcome. Aunt Patty's been calling every 2 minutes. He probably stole Aunt Patty's car. I mean, my God.
Woo.
Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's the way you talk in front of a child. Get me the F out of here. Yep. Grandma, aren't you so glad that you brought his daughter to see him get out of jail? Isn't that awesome? I'm so Aunt Patty's been calling me every 2 minutes. And he goes, yeah, Grandma, get me the fuck out of here.
You like the shoes?
Yeah, I love them.
I told you.
He was being
She got him new shoes. Son of a biscuit.
punished in the bedroom.
How was he being punished?
I was told that he was put in the corner.
Why was this child being punished?
He was being real bad. I understand that he was being real bad to his brother.
Ann Nix lives here.
And I have a feeling that the brother is not corroborating that story. I'm only saying brother because the grandma said it. Grandma is a big part of this problem, okay? Now, this is a different grandma.
The bedroom.
How was he being punished?
I was told that he was put in the corner.
Why was this child being...
I was told he was put in the corner. He was staple gunned to the corner. They don't live in a mansion here, my friends. How did she not know that her grandson was stapled into the corner? How?
punished?
He was being real bad. I understand that he was being real bad to his brother.
Ann Nix lives here in the Ackles mobile home community off DeQuinder, the same place prosecutors say 6-year-old Giovanni Jennings suffered blunt force trauma to the abdomen and a perforated bowel after a lengthy period of confinement and child abuse.
When I was home the one day, I heard her reprimanding him, slapping him, with the belt.
Nix is...
Why is she not in jail? Let's take a poll. Unofficial, unless you want me to put it up officially. Should grandma be in jail? She is detailing some horrific abuse, and it's not even the worst of it.
The same place prosecutors say 6-year-old Giovanni Jennings suffered blunt force trauma to the abdomen and a perforated bowel after a lengthy period of confinement and child abuse.
When I was home the one day, I heard her reprimanding him, slapping him, with the belt.
Nix is adamant she was unaware. Prosecutor Karen McDonald charged her grandson, 32-year-old Daniel Giacchina, and the child's mother, 25-year-old Elaina Jennings, with murder and first-degree child abuse until I told her. Did you see anything that made you think he was in danger?
No.
No, she's trying to blame Elaina. Elena's going to wind up blaming him. I'm telling you, we're going to have some real Dutch door action going on because she is giving detail of Elaina and how she treated Chulo. She will never admit that her grandson did anything. No.
And with that being said, on the grandmother's Facebook page, not only is she showing everybody where he went to rehab, but he's also showing the timeline of when he had his first kid with his first baby mama. And you can see here, her arm is bruised. Now, either grandma was enabling, kind of like just like all the other stories, like Daryl Brooks and his mom, Dawn Woods, or she was fucking blind. Let's get into this.
I like this dude. He can sit with us. Either she's enabling or she's effing blind.
Photos taken during an autopsy in Wayne County revealed that Chulo had bruising and laceration on his entire body.
Police say a 911 call July 30th made by his mother led to him being found not breathing. He was pronounced dead a day later at the hospital.
Both Giacchina and Jennings would watch video clips of Chulo, quote, misbehaving, which would include Chulo trying to urinate, drink, or leave the corner.
Prosecutors say after initial charges of lying to police were filed, they discovered video evidence to show the boy was shot with a BB gun, confined to a bedroom wall using a staple gun, and that he began vomiting due to injuries.
Both Jennings and Giacchina laughed about the photo and Giacchina's use of the staple gun to solve, quote, the problem. The abuse involved physical violence and assault, including shooting at Chulo with a BB gun. For punishment, Chulo was confined to a pen in a corner of Giacchina's and Jennings' bedroom.
Prosecutors add the mother lied, telling police the boy was with his biological father, who was in no way involved in this. Jolene Zidlowski lives next door and tells me she's simply in disbelief. To know that
Jolene, I'm simply in disbelief. Jolene, these are paper thin walls. He had a perforated, well, they said abdomen. Now they're saying bowels. You didn't hear any sort of blood curdling scream? What would a child, or actually anyone on this planet, have to do to get their bowels perforated? Come on. No. No.
That he was confined allegedly to a bedroom.
Yep.
Unable to leave.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. And to know that there was torture, that boy was tortured, that's unfathomable. How can a mother do that to their kid?
I discussed with him that being put in a corner for any great length of time was too much, was enough. It wasn't, and that he needed mental help.
The little boy needed mental health? Mental help? I get real sick of the mental shit. I really do. With these people. Not with anyone in here, but with these people. The little boy needed mental help? Sounds to me like the caretakers, I'll just say that. And I feel bad for old Jolene. She's probably blaming herself. I do have questions. How did no one hear anything? She could have been at the mall. She could have been at work. I don't know. But we talk about this all the time. Of course, there's a victim, but the web of victimization just goes on and on and on and on. This woman's probably having nightmares. And Grandma, you need to be in jail. I'm sorry. Grandma needs to be in jail.
That's unfathomable. How can a mother do that to their kid?
I discussed with him that being put in a corner for any great length of time was too much, was enough. It wasn't, and that he needed mental help.
Now, Elaina Jennings had not really a complicated history, but she obviously had more than one baby daddy. And as far as her background is concerned, it looked like the only thing she really had on her criminal record was operating a vehicle and never having a license while doing so. And that was the only charge that she had, other than being a fucking idiot when coming to choosing, a significant other or a felon boyfriend to watch her other kids.
Okay, I agree with him. I agree with him. And they better not even try saying, look, all she's ever had was a traffic ticket and she's cooperating and we're just going to pin him and she's going to get 5 years and walk. That better not happen. But I need to know more about the DA.
Not to mention the bitterness you have to be a Walmart employee at 25 years old and be bitter enough to not let your kid have access to your father, knowing that your boyfriend is the one that is the issue or has the history of doing criminal bullshit. And if she didn't know, she should have did a background check before she laid with him. Just saying. So when you look at his mother, Angela, it's not hard to see why he had an issue growing up. She was very selfish as far as his childhood, according to public records. And the only reason I'm saying that is because not only does she have a couple little stops for DUI, but when you look at her background as far as her judgments, she has a judgment for child support not paid. So my guess is grandmother raised David, and David turned out to be a...
That's my guess too. I don't even need to know. It's my guess too that his mama bolted. Okay. Grandma took over and raised him as her own. That's the reason, she's like, oh, I'm so glad you're out of jail. Aunt Patty's been calling. She's trying to only blame the egg donor. And she'll die on that hill, but she needs to be in jail. Sarah, comment of the day. See something, say something. Stop looking the other way. Yeah, Grandma. We can't blame the neighbors for not having x-ray vision. I don't know about the school situation. If anybody noticed anything at school, I have a lot of questions about school. Of course, this happened over the summer. But Grandma's there. Grandma was there.
A real fuck up. Should we say man-child? Comment below and let me know how you feel about this. With that being said, it's your boy Norm, and I will definitely see you guys in another video.
I thought he did a great job putting that together. I did. It answered a lot of questions for me. Vanilla. She's agreeing with baby kisses. Exactly. Blame everyone but yourself. Or her grandson. She's not going to blame her grandson. You can already see where this is going. Grandma's going to say any sort of raised eyebrow in the household was straight at the egg donor. Good morning, Snow. Now, as much as I hate to, and I totally understand if you don't want to hear it, I'm going to give you a warning right now. We're going to go through the press conference, and you're going to hear some things that are just beyond, well, they're unimaginable. Okay? They are unimaginable. Imagine when this case got thrown on Karen McDonald's desk. See, several of you are saying that she's the one that prosecuted the Crumblies. Good. She don't mess around. Need more DAs like her, in my opinion. She doesn't mess around.
Yeah.
Hang on. I see your messages, Elizabeth. Mine have been getting kicked back too. Like YouTube thinks they're spam or something. I don't know. If I just say, hey, Angel P, it goes right through. But if I say, how are you doing? It's like YouTube detects spam. I'm like, goodness.
Good afternoon. The prosecutor will update everyone on the additional charges that have been filed in this case. First, I want to remind everyone that criminal charges are merely accusations and the defendants are presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty. Her remarks today are based on the information placed on the record during the swear-to and arraignment before the court earlier this morning. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald.
Good afternoon. I would like to introduce members of my staff. To my left is Sarah Green. She's the chief of the Special Victims Unit. Assistant Prosecutor Lauren Benninger. She is also in the Special Victims Unit. Kelly Collins is our chief of juvenile. Betsy Haig is our chief of administration and oversees the juvenile division. Mark Keese is our chief of circuit. And this is, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Chief Brent Maurice, Madison Heights Police Department. Thank you.
Thank you. The victim in this case is Giovanni Jennings, known by his family as Chulo. Chulo was 6 years old, and he died from blunt force trauma to his abdomen and a perforated bowel after a lengthy period of confinement and abuse. The Wayne County Medical Examiner determined that the manner of death was homicide. Last week, my office filed charges against his mother, Elaina Jennings, and her boyfriend, Daniel Giacchina, for lying to the police, and additional charges against defendant Giacchina for improperly possessing weapons and ammunition because he was already a convicted felon. But it was clear from the evidence that we saw that there was a pattern of abuse that led to Chulo's death. My office, in conjunction with the Madison Heights Police Department, has spent the last week performing an intensive review of every piece of available evidence, including cell phone evidence, photos, and evidence that was seized in search warrants. Combined, we have spent over 100 hours reviewing extremely disturbing videos and photos, as well as text messages and Facebook chats describing the horrific things that happened to this 6-year-old boy. Everyone's standing up.
Documented in their own words. Facebook messages, text messages. It's horrible, Cat's Life. Cat's Life says, I've not heard of this case. Girl, it's going to piss you off. Exactly, reality wins. He had bruises from the top of his head held down to his toes. I can't believe it.
Here, including myself, were a part of those 100 hours of review. His siblings were present for and witnessed much of that abuse, and a complete review of the digital evidence continues. Chulo's 4-year-old brother was interviewed at Care House. For those of you who don't know, Care House is a child advocacy center in Oakland County. My office has an experienced prosecutor dedicated to Care House and who attends forensic interviews there, and that's Lauren Benninger. I cannot express the importance of Care House and how fortunate we are in this county to have this highly qualified professional organization who interview and provide therapy for child victims. I also want to thank the Oakland County Sheriff's Department who assisted in this investigation. As we carefully sifted through the evidence, what we found can only be described as horrific. The allegations are that Chulo was confined to a pen in the defendant's bedroom. He was beaten. He was bound to the wall by using a staple gun to his close to the wall, which forced his face into a corner. He was badly injured, but he was not.
Vanilla. She said, what the hell? What digital evidence? Help me understand, please. Yes, as the evidence starts trickling out, it's going to be horrible. Okay? It's going to be horrible. They were taunting each other. I think there's some filming going on. I think there's some pictures. They spoke between each other. One text message said problem solved, and that's when the staple gun was used to keep him in the corner. I just can't with these freaking people.
taken for medical treatment because his mother knew that a medical examination would reveal the abuse. And that information is all an allegation that was already in the public forum on the record in the swear to. Based on that additional evidence today, my office amended the charges against the defendants to include murder and child abuse in the first degree. On July 30th, 2024, at 2:34 p.m., Elaina Jennings called 911 to her home and indicated that her 6-year-old son was passed out and unconscious. Chulo was rushed by ambulance to Ascension Macomb Oakland Hospital, transferred to the Detroit Medical Center, and ultimately succumbed to his injuries around midnight on July 31st. The allegations are that Jennings falsely told police that she left Chulo with his biological father when she went to work that morning, and that Chulo was uninjured prior to being with his father. Police located and arrested Chulo's father, and based on information provided by his father, subsequent investigation quickly revealed that the child's father was not anywhere near Chulo's location that day, and that defendant Jennings had provided false information to police. Based on the investigation to date, there is no evidence that Chulo's father took part in these crimes. Elaina Jennings, along with Chulo and her 2 other minor children, were living at the home along with Jennings' boyfriend, defendant Daniel Giacchina, and Giacchina's grandmother. Further investigation revealed that Giacchina and Jennings conspired to falsely tell police that it was Chulo's biological father who was last with Chulo. In fact, when Jennings left the home on the morning of July 30th, Chulo was left in the care of Giacchina. Giacchina typically watched Chulo when Jennings was at work.
Question, and I can't find the answer to this. Question, was Grandma home? Does anyone know? Because I've been looking high and low and I cannot find out, was Grandma home? I'm not done with Grandma anytime soon. So he was home with Chulo. He's going to get the blunt of the blame. Okay, he is. Because Mom was working at the Walmart, from what I'm understanding. But still, the abuse was from both of them. They have the digital evidence. She was aware. Where was Grandma when the murder was going on?
Along with Chulo's 2 younger siblings and another unrelated 5-year-old. Photos taken during an autopsy in Wayne County revealed that Chulo had bruising and laceration on his entire body, including to his scalp, temples, lips, inner mouth, cheeks, forehead, chin, shoulder, forearms, fingers, thumbs, back, buttocks, inner thighs, knees, and shins.
Imagine that medical examiner's mapping. You have a little boy, and I guarantee it's circle, 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 circle. Then the back of the body, circle, 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 circle. You've got to be kidding me. Why all the abuse on Chulo? There's always a reason with these monsters. Not a good reason. Not anything that holds water around here. Adam Montgomery had it with Harmony because she kept wetting herself. AJ was a handful. Gabriel Fernandez, they thought he was gay. Yeah.
Notably, Chulo had pervasive bruising to his abdomen, which was also bloated and distended. He had an apparent BB wound to his shin. First responders and emergency room personnel noted extensive external injuries as well. Cell phone evidence has revealed that Chulo Jennings was being severely abused by the defendants. Chulo was beaten by Giacchina on multiple occasions. While that abuse sometimes happened while Jennings was at work, Jennings was aware of it and approved of the physical assaults, and at times even encouraged Giacchina to abuse Chulo. The abuse involved physical violence and assault, including shooting at Chulo with a BB gun. For punishment, Chulo was confined to a pen in a corner of Giacchina's and Jennings' bedroom, where he was left to try and sleep on a wooden slat measuring 11 inches by 36 inches.
Okay. 11 inches, basically a foot. 36 inches, 3 feet. In a cage. Now, imagine how cramped he was in there. Just imagine. Now, if this happened in Oklahoma, somebody be getting the DP. In Florida, it doesn't even have to be the big M. Pedophilia gets them straight to the needle. Okay? Tennessee has recently adopted the law that it doesn't exactly even have to be murder to put him to death. Hopefully, Michigan and a few other states, when it comes to cases like this, they say, all right, fire up the chair. You thought you were such a big old boy picking on him. You thought it was so cute. Made you feel like a real man, didn't it? Made you feel like mom of the year, didn't it?
A black curtain was put in place so Chulo couldn't see out, and barricades were used to keep him in place. Giacchina purchased a home security system and mounted a camera on the wall to monitor what he and Jennings called, quote, the corner, the pen in the bedroom cordoned by the black curtain where they kept Chulo. Both Giacchina and Jennings would watch video clips of Chulo, quote, misbehaving, which would include Chulo trying to urinate, drink, or leave the corner. On one instance, on July 26, Giacchina bound Chulo to the wall to keep Chulo confined in the corner and to position his head to face the wall. He did so by stapling the clothing Chulo was wearing to the wall with a staple gun. He texted Jennings that he had solved the problem of keeping Chulo's face toward the wall, sending her a photo of Chulo stapled into the corner of the pen. That photo shows the shoulders of Chulo's shirt stapled to the edges of the corner in such a manner that Chulo's body, along with his head and face, were wedged into the corner of the wall. Both Jennings and Giacchina laughed about the photo and Giacchina's use of the staple gun to solve, quote, the problem. According to the text, Chulo was being punished in this manner for looking out the window in the pen area. A search conducted in the home in the pen area where Chulo was kept revealed marks in the walls consistent with a staple gun and holes in the wall with BBs still in them. During this,
Please remember, the younger siblings, not grandma. Grandma couldn't say shit if she had a mouthful of it. Grandma didn't see nothing except for that maybe the egg donor was a little rough and kept him in the corner too long. Hell no, she saw way more than that. She saw way more than that. The only heroes here are the younger siblings. Imagine what they're going through. You know, kids blame themselves for everything. Mom and dad have a fight, they think it's their fault. Mom and dad say we don't have any money until Friday, they think it's their fault. These two little children are going to blame themselves. They truly are. And it's horrible. They saw. They knew what was going on.
according to the text, Chulo was being punished in this manner for looking out the window in the pen area. A search conducted in the home in the pen area where Chulo was kept revealed marks in the walls consistent with a staple gun and holes in the wall with BBs still in them. During the search, police seized both a staple gun, a BB gun, and CO2 cartridges before the BB gun. They also seized a 9mm semi-automatic ghost gun and over 100 rounds of live 9mm ammunition. A photograph recovered from the cell phone analysis depicts Giacchina in the middle of two young children who are handling the ghost gun and the BB gun. On July 26, a photo from Jennings' phone depicts two children who are each pointing a gun at a third child. The third child has his hand up, and the laser from the ghost gun is illuminating his hand. Elaina Jennings' 4-year-old son was forensically interviewed at Care House. He told the forensic interviewer that, quote, Danny, Giacchina, shot him in the leg with a BB gun and showed his wound to the forensic interviewer. He also disclosed that Danny shot Chulo in the buttocks with a BB gun. The 4-year-old explained that on the day of Chulo's death, quote, Chulo died all day, and Danny was there. Defendant Elaina.
Oh my goodness. Give me a second. I have to wrap my brain around this, you guys. Help me, please. This little angel said Chulo died all day. Chulo died all day. They're victims too. They damn sure are. The hell is wrong with people? Cain said, what is wrong with people? Exactly. Honey Elder, Chulo died all day. Imagine being a child of this age, knowing that your sibling is dying. To have that sort of comprehension that you know what's going on. He was dying all day.
Buttocks with the BB gun. The 4-year-old explained that on the day of Chulo's death, quote, Chulo died all day, and Danny was there. Defendant Elaina Jennings was interviewed by police, and she stated that Giacchina punched Chulo in the abdomen several times, approximately 3 days prior to his death. She told police that as a result of those punches, Chulo began vomiting. His condition began to worsen until July 30th, when she found him unresponsive in the company of Giacchina. Jennings admitted that she knew Chulo desperately needed medical attention, but she did not take him to the hospital because she knew that a medical examination would reveal the abuse he was suffering. The investigation also revealed that Jennings and Giacchina were present and living in the family home the entire time that the known abuse was sustained by Chulo. After the autopsy, the Wayne County Medical Examiner issued a supplemental report indicating that Chulo Jennings died by homicide as a result of a bowel perforation with complications after blunt force trauma to his abdomen.
Bowel perforation with complications after blunt force trauma to his abdomen. So he bled to death all day. His abdomen was distended when he got to the hospital.
All children have a right to grow up in a home free of fear. This child and his siblings suffered unimaginable abuse and lived in fear every day. My office and the Madison Heights Police Department are committed to using every resource available to us to get justice for Chulo and hold the people responsible for his death accountable, and to seek punishment that reflects the horror of his death. And I want to thank the Madison Heights Police Department for their commitment and conviction in carrying out a very complicated investigation. And I'd like to turn it over to the chief now.
Retro Girl said, so it was the stomach punches that got him. Kimberly, his bowels were leaking into his body. He probably went septic pretty fast. That's what I want to ask Angel P. Hang on, I got to sneeze. I don't exactly have a cute sneeze. It sounds like, whew. Sounds like a Stacy Wonder sneeze or something. I mean, it's like phew, everywhere. I'm not one of those ladies that goes, achoo, achoo, excuse me. So be glad I muted myself. Kimberly, again, his bowels were leaking into his body. He probably went septic fast. Just me. Everyone, I need some prayers for just me. If you know, you know. She said, I'm sick of this. I can't wait to hear her take on the grandma. I can't wait to hear her take on the grandma. We'll get to it.
Thank you, Karen. So, good afternoon, members of the press. For those who don't know me, my name is Brent Lemerise, and again, I'm the police chief for the city of Madison Heights. I'm not to be too redundant, but I'm going to speak a little bit on some of the things that Karen already said, but I'm going to be very short. So as you know, the Madison Heights Police Department and the Madison Heights Fire Department responded to the residence of the 6-year-old victim, Chulo Giovanni Jennings, on July 30th, 2024. This was the first time we encountered Giovanni and learned about his failing condition. The first responders took life-saving measures, but unfortunately, Giovanni eventually succumbed to his injuries. Officers moved quickly to obtain probable cause, and they made 3 arrests on the date of the incident. One individual, as Karen had stated previously, was released when it was determined he had an alibi, and he was turned over to another agency on separate violations. The other 2 individuals, as you now know, are Elaina Jennings and Daniel Giacchina, and they were charged with lying to the police. And Daniel Giacchina had a pre-existing warrant for weapons-related offenses out of Madison Heights. Since their arraignment on those charges, the Madison Heights investigative team, in coordination with the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office and their investigators, have been working around the clock to uncover fresh evidence that has led to new charges introduced today by Karen McDonald. I would like to give a special thank you to all of them for their hard work. With that said, I want to remain focused on Giovanni and the tragic situation he had to endure. We will continue to work with the prosecutor's office to build this case and provide that justice for Giovanni. Thank you.
We can take a few questions, but with the understanding that we're very limited in what we can say.
Has anyone reported any of this abuse to CPS? As parents speak to the extreme nature of this abuse?
I can't comment on whether it was reported to CPS. I know that we are all mandated reporters and immediately contacted CPS because that's our job. I'm a former family court judge and presiding over an abuse and neglect docket. I've been a prosecutor for years and the elected prosecutor for 4. And I think everyone standing up here has decades and decades of experience in prosecuting, particularly in the Special Victims Unit. But this was one of the worst cases we've seen.
Will Jones go aboard? How do you prevent something like this from happening? Is there anything that can be done?
There's a lot that can be done. And without going into the circumstances of this case, we need to know and keep track of our children. We need to know and keep track of our children who are enrolled in public schools and when they are taken out.
I can't agree more. I can't say anything about the school. I know nothing about the school district. I haven't got that far into it. But this is during the summertime. He wasn't in school. I'm not going to blame Jolene next door. But I am going to blame Grandma. Damn sure going to blame Mr. Boyfriend. And damn sure going to blame the egg donor. Those poor babies in that house. I really hope this Karen McDonald, because she is an impressive woman. She is impressive. I really think she should run for governor of Michigan. She is no nonsense. I don't know what the term limits are for governor in Michigan. I'm assuming that one old girl is going to be about done soon. I really hope she runs for governor. I do. Because she makes too much sense to not be the governor, in my opinion.
Circumstances of this case, we need to know and keep track of our children. We need to know and keep track of our children who are enrolled in public schools, and when they are taken out, inquire about what happened to them. And then the people around kids, whether you're a neighbor, a teacher, a coach, just somebody in the grocery store line, if you see something that concerns you, you should absolutely report it to the Child Protective Services or the police. And in terms of the weapons offenses, your guns should be secured, stored, and locked, and not available, or children have access to them at all.
It's hard for a lot of people to imagine abuse on this scale. Can you talk about your reaction as a parent when you first looked at this case?
We have so many tools available to us now in the digital forensic analysis, particularly with cell phones. And so, unfortunately or fortunately, crimes like these oftentimes are depicted, photographed, spoken about in a way that is horrifying. So I think it doesn't matter how long you do this job. I don't think any of us ever stop being extremely moved and horrified at what we see. But it also, I know I can speak for the people on my team, makes us more passionate and work harder to protect vulnerable people.
Her voice is shaking. Her voice is shaking. I'm sure it's sadness. I'm sure it's the mama bear pissed off. I'm sure it's the, hey, if I wasn't the DA, I'd go get me a good old DUI to be in the same cell with the egg donor. But when you hear a prosecutor whose voice is shaking, fighting back tears, and you know this chick is tough as nails. You know what came across her desk is one of the worst things she's ever seen in her life. No amount of time as a family court judge could prepare her for that file. Lolo said she's upset in more ways than one. Right. No law school is going to prepare her for what came across her desk that day. No.
Anything else?
It's indicated that both defendants were arraigned this morning in front of Magistrate Michael Mitchell. Bond was denied, and they're both at the Oakland County Jail. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sickening. Sickening. Good morning, Rees Jam. Sickening. All right, let's get back to Jolene. Now, this is from 10 days ago before this press conference. Sometimes I skip around, but in retrospect, let's see what Jolene said.
Death in Madison Heights now.
A 6-year-old boy found not breathing after an alleged beating that may have claimed his life.
Now, this is before the murder charges. We know what's going on now, okay? And it was a beating. It damn sure was a beating. He's a little guy. Perforated bowel.
911 call came from the mobile home community in the area of DeQuinder and East 10 Mile.
7 News Detroit reporter Kimberly Craig went there to find out exactly what happened.
Neighbors tell me the little boy who was killed lived behind me here with his mother and siblings for the last few months, and what may have started out as a punishment turned into a deadly assault.
A punishment turned into a deadly assault. Now let's talk about punishments. A punishment can be, listen, you don't need to play the game box right now. Get off that game box. Go color. If you can't share with your siblings with the game box, then you're going to have to go lay down and take a nap. This child had a perforated bowel.
But devastated. It was heartbreaking. It really was.
Jolene Sidlowski was horrified to hear about the last days of a little boy's life after he'd been struck multiple times with what may have been a belt.
And I guess she took it too far when she battled his butt.
Then Tuesday afternoon, someone in the home called 911 to report the 6-year-old boy not breathing.
I guess woke up and was throwing up something brown, and then he just passed out, fell to the ground.
When EMS and police
Am I the only one feeling bad for Jolene? I know some people are going to want to jump on Jolene and say she should have done more. Seems to me that this all became clear to her, or as some people say, crystal clear, after the fact.
Something brown, and then he just passed out, fell to the ground.
When EMS and police arrived, they say they found severe physical injuries on the...
I'm not a nurse. Let me see if Angel P can come up. Would the throwing up brown be blood? Okay, Angel P said old blood is brown. Son of a bitch. I got to hear that again. I'm not trying to get gruesome, but I got to get this together.
Tuesday afternoon, someone in the home called 911 to report the 6-year-old boy not breathing.
I guess woke up and was throwing up something brown, and then he just passed out, fell to the ground.
Okay, so that was their story. He woke up and he was throwing up something brown. Now remember, this is before the investigation. This is before the murder charges. Then egg donor told the police he had just been with his biological father. Jolene is the Linda of the trailer park, okay? She's just telling what she knows, okay?
When EMS and police arrived, they say they found severe physical injuries on the boy. He was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Neighbors say police took his mother and her boyfriend, who was not the boy's father, into custody. The boyfriend's grandmother also lives here, and Jolene said that grandmother told her that the boy's mother took him into another room last week to punish him.
After he got out the shower, she took him in the bedroom and patted his, but she could see the welts on him. Oh, you could.
Why did grandma not do something a week before? I'm not done with grandma, my friends. I'm not done with grandma. She's telling Jolene. Grandma's probably still living there. She's telling Jolene about it.
You could see him over his legs, his arms, his butt cheeks, the belt, impression, the buckle.
We're told the boy's mother and her boyfriend remain in police custody as we wait to see if one or both will face charges in connection with her son's death. In Madison Heights.
They damn sure got charges. They damn sure got charges. Because, Jolene, she sees EMS there. Jolene sees the police there. She sees egg donor and Mr. Boyfriend come out in cuffs. Of course, she's going to ask Grandma what happened. Well, last week I saw egg donor beat him with the belt. I saw the welts. If I was Jolene, I'd say, well, did you call 911? Did you call 911? I hope that grandma, who is not their biological grandma, isn't in charge of the other children now. Hurts my heart to think where they went. Because it's never just one bad egg in these families, as we know. Never works that way. It's not just one disgusting person. It's multiple. Now, there are some cases where it's just one disgusting person. I'll say like Letitia Stout. I can't say Al was doing anything to Gannon. Certainly can't say his mother was because she lived on the other side of the country. Think you Snow. How much trouble can a 6-year-old actually cause for a parent to get that mad? Come on. A perforated bowel? Grandma, you're not done. The fact that you told Jolene that you saw welts on that boy the week before, I have a feeling you're going to catch a charge, Grandma. I have a feeling your old crusty ass is going to catch a charge. Well, guys, I know this has been a horrible case to go through. Horrible. But it's totally up to you. Do you want to continue following this case? Yes or no? Because more is going to be coming out, and I do not think that the information that's going to be coming out is going to get any easier. Robin Brown said yes. Melanie, yes. Lolo, yes. Sarah, yes. Debbie, yes. Nani, yes. Wanda, yes. Aggie, yes. Well, I think that solves it. Fun to ski, yes. Sonia, yes. So we're going to stay on it. Snow, yes, my heart is in it now. Me too. When I saw his little face, I just thought, how the hell could you do this? How? So as more comes out, we are going to continue to discuss this case. Thank you guys so much for being here. If I don't see you over in the also famous Discord, then I might catch you in one of the Facebook groups, or if not, I'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thank you for being here for little Chulo, because he definitely needs justice. And I hope that grandma catches a charge. And I hope Karen McDonald doesn't make any sort of deal with the egg donor. All right, you guys are the absolute best. Again, thank you for being here and for all the right reasons. I'll catch you on the other side. You all are the absolute best. Love you.